then. Let's read some tweets. You can kind of hear the pain in my voice. TSN, we had Darren Dreger 10 hours ago talking about how the Arizona Coyotes want a young D-man and a first-round pick for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. The tweet then reads that the Oilers would need the Coyotes to take on money or retain salary, and Arizona does not want to do that. Big point. Arizona, no salary retained in their book. They don't want to do it. Things are believed to be intensifying in Arizona on the Oliver Ekman-Larsson front. However, unless something changes, the Oilers have been told they're not on the list of teams that Ekman-Larsson would waive his trade protection to go to. Then, a few hours, we had this. Ekman-Larsson's list, for now, is believed to be Boston and Vancouver. Okay, so earlier we talked about how Oliver Ekman-Larsson, the Arizona Coyotes captain and defenseman who was able to get 40, 50 points over the past few seasons. He had 30 this past season because games played was cut down. But our most previous video talked about how the Oilers, the Canucks, and the Bruins are apparently calling on the Coyotes' 29-year-old captain with an $8.25 million cap hit. Take a look at this. Boston and Arizona were engaged in trade discussions for Oliver Ekman-Larsson prior to Bill Armstrong's arrival. It's not an easy transaction. Vancouver, as my colleague Elliot Friedman noted, is the other team on OEL's list. Sharpen your pencils, Canucks fans, and try to make the numbers work on that. So we're getting more word that apparently it's Boston and/or Vancouver, but taking a look at what Rick Dhaliwal said on TSN 1040, apparently the OEL interest in Vancouver is legit. He has said no to Calgary and Edmonton. Ekman-Larsson wants Vancouver. This is a guy the Canucks have targeted. This isn't a guy in the Canucks' eyes who has a bad contract, dude! He's making $8.25 million a year till 2027. You thought Louis was bad. This guy is gonna be 36 years old when he's coming off of an $8.25 million year. I know that super Swedes are great in Vancouver, and this guy definitely could be one of those. Having a left side on defense of Hughes, Edler, Ekman-Larsson, boy, that's amazing. But the price, man. Unless Ekman-Larsson all of a sudden becomes the same 50, 55, maybe even a 60-point defenseman that we all thought he was like 4 years ago when he was 25, I don't see this absolutely being worth it, especially combined with the fact that Arizona does not want to eat salary, according to what Darren Dreger said earlier on the radio. They don't want to retain salary. They don't want to get salary back. They want a prospect and a first for Ekman-Larsson, a young D-man prospect. The Canucks don't have firsts anymore. They have a first for next year, which they already said they're not going to move out with the intention of moving money. But they did not say whether or not they wouldn't move it if it's to acquire a good roster player. And Ekman-Larsson is a good roster player. That is indeed the case. It's just the contract, man. The contract. This Arizona team wants to clear out space. You're not going to convince them to take Louis and, I don't know, a Sutter and a prospect and a pick for Ekman-Larsson. They're not going to eat money. That's entirely the reason they're trading this guy. So for the Vancouver Canucks, unless Jim Benning is able to do several trades where, okay, we get Ekman-Larsson with a full $8.25 million contract, we get rid of Eriksson, we get rid of Sutter, etc., and some other stuff too. I don't see this working out because this guy's contract goes on for so long and it's so expensive, but you know, if it works out, it works out. I just don't know what to think right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you think. And bye.